Okay. All right. Well, welcome to another episode of Mastering Entrepreneurship. I'm your host, Ravi Parashar, and I have Mr. Maxim Maximov here in the studio with me today. So thank you for joining me, Max, and thank you for being patient with us while we got everything set up here.
Of course. It's my pleasure.
So we are colleagues in the the Masters of Innovation and Entrepreneurship program here at UCI, and we worked on a project together for a large corporation.
Yes.
That you are working for. So I kind of see you as more of an intrapreneur, and that was more of an intrapreneurial project. Tell me about your experience as an innovative thinker inside of a larger corporation. Because on the show, we talk to a lot of people. Everybody I've talked to so far has told us about their own independent journey out on their own. They have all that freedom of decision making, and some of the experience that I had on working on that project with you is you're not always given all that freedom. You're constrained to the structure of the institution as well. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your experience over the past few years?
Absolutely.
In that environment.
And very interesting that you brought it up. Mm-hmm. So how I see, I had my business a while back, like maybe 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. It wasn't successful, and I was thinking, okay, I'm missing something. And I joined the company and worked through, and then I joined a different company. And the current company, they offer me actually a position to start the innovation program inside of the IT department, but a large corporation. The corporation itself, about 30,000 people, and the IT group that we have, about 2,000 people. And I say, okay, let's create the innovation team inside of the large corporation. Mm-hmm. And I was so excited because I had always a lot of ideas, but it has a completely different dynamics. It's just very interesting. Mm-hmm. It's a different challenges, different dynamic, but it's not different from innovating outside of the company, like doing your startup. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. The one thing is, I think, that puts them kind of in the same category, or at this, like looking at the same from the same perspective.
Sure.
Both of the startup and innovation program, we looking for the funding, and we need to prove results.
Right.
We need to show what we can deliver first, mm-hmm. And then we get more funding, and it's completely different from. Many years it was R&D, which is different from innovation, because innovation, it doesn't happen in IT. It happens, it's processes, people, mindset at the company, support of the managers of that program. It's all set of the same skills you need to go if you're going outside. What it gives you, the biggest benefit that you get, if you fail on one project, second project, or the third project, it's still okay. You get funded at least to pay to yourself. So basically, you get paid mm-hmm. to do innovation. Yes, it's difficult. It takes longer to do something. You're not that agile because you need to have a lot of stakeholders agree on the project. But it's not different from going outside, looking for the sponsors, pitching your idea, showing that value, mm-hmm. and implementing. And what we do, we getting to the point as minimal viable product, and we give it to the team that has that can take that project and influence or build, let's say if we're doing changes in business processes, mm-hmm. they have to take the ownership, otherwise it will not move. We just need to build a small project to show them the value, and we kind of hands off. We track, we coming back and asking what is ROI, but basically we're already on the different project.
Sure, so much of the same challenges.
Different dynamic.
but different things that you have to deal with. Good. I also wanted to bring something else up. I'm not sure if we should talk about that later, though. I want to talk about gamification. Okay, and you gave a talk just the other day about gamification, and I went to it, and I thought it was one of the better talks that we go to. We have workshops in this program, 3, 4, 5 times a week, and your program, your gamification talk, I think brought so much more value to the students in the program than most of the other talks.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, no, it was amazing. I've never even heard of gamification before your talk. So your explanation of it, and as you explained what it was, I started realizing that it's happening all the time, all around me.
Yeah, we just don't see it.
I didn't realize it. So why don't you give us a little bit of a background about what gamification is for those who don't know what that is, and give us some examples as well of where we would see it.
Absolutely. So what gamification is, first of all, it's applying game elements, and I'll talk a little bit what the game elements are, or game principles in non-game environment, and what the benefits you get, like let's say entrepreneurial company, you need to differentiate yourself, and you always fight for adoption rate of your product or your services. And if you bring something different that the people care about, you're gonna be ahead of other competitors. And most of the companies, they realizing benefits and they start implementing. However, it has to be done in very subtle way, transparent, that it doesn't break engagement. And one of the reasons why I started looking into the gamification, because it related to the innovation program. And we start innovation program in a large corporation. We have a lot of tasks we need to do. It's all piled up. You have no time to even think outside the box. You always trying to complete the projects that line up. Mm-hmm. You finish one project, 2 in the line. You finish 2, there's 4 in the line. So the race never ends. Yeah. And people losing engagement. Mm-hmm. Engagement, productivity slows down, especially in corporate America. And there was a study around the globe. It's not just the corporate America, but around the globe, people disengage from the job 87%. Yeah. Imagine how much money the company invests into the talent, invests in the resources, and the engagement so low. They just have to bump everything else up, like the services, the prices, and you see that let's say the bills they send for the services, like let's say Microsoft, right? Mm-hmm. It's a huge deal. Why? It's not that effective, what they're trying to do. Maybe because the size, that's one problem. And also
I think that lack of engagement. So to touch on what we were talking about earlier, and being an innovator inside of a large corporation, you might fail, right? But you're kind of playing with house money. You still get your paycheck. Yeah. You know, the mortgage is going to get paid, and the kids are going to get fed. But so you don't really have that skin in the game, right? So when you're in a corporate setting, and like let's say you're an accountant or you're a product developer or a project manager or something like that, it's easy for that pipeline, that flow of work to get backlogged really fast, right? When you lose engagement. And like you said, like we mentioned earlier, they don't have skin in the game. They're still going to get the paycheck, right? They might get fired if that backlog gets too long or, projects aren't getting completed by due dates. But for the most part, like you can kind of disengage a little bit and just work at just hard enough, right, to keep that paycheck going. So gamifying things to increase that engagement, increase productivity, and squeeze more out of not just the employees, but maybe your customers, right? Your audience that you're trying to reach. You know, I encourage anyone listening to this podcast to leave comments or something. I want to know what your favorite gamified element in your life is, and leave that in the comments. We're going to pick the best one. We're going to send you a t-shirt. So that is an example of how you can incorporate gamification into something, right? So I'm kind of making a little competition amongst my audience of who has the coolest gamified element in their life, and they're going to play in the comment section. I'm engaging these listeners.
Yes. So I think it's interesting because gamification play a very significant role in improving the work experience. And the first thing from the games, and we learn it when we've been kids, it has to be fun.
It's got to be fun.
Yeah. So small companies like enterprises, they kind of already have it. They inherit it because it's a small team. They have the same challenge, but it's funny, in the mission, it's almost like a mission. I'm on the mission. We're trying to build the company. It's a different set of interests, and that's why it's already kind of inherits that gamify approach. They're in the same bowl. They have the same challenge. They're looking forward to the challenges because they know when they pass them, they're going to get something better. More customers, more funding. It's if you look at the internal part of the, let's say, startups and large corporations. So large corporations already do it, but not just inspire internal teams. It's very engaging to inspire your customers because you fight for the attention. And there's actually a loyalty program as one of the vivid examples. It's one of the companies that fly when you book the flights.
Yeah.
So like let's say American Airlines, they have that loyal program. The more you fly, the better deal you get for the next ticket.
Right.
So, and that's kind of, it's a one way to look at, but there's so many facets you can tune to get your customers engaged, to get your employees engaged, and you have to add little by little, just seeing the results. If you try to change a lot, let's say internal or for the customers, it's going to be very confusing, and it could be actually get a lot of disengagement because it's complex.
Right.
But as you mentioned, one of the examples that you're looking to gamify, it has to be fun, first of all.
Yeah.
You cannot force everybody to participate. So finding the programs inside of the company to everybody get like, oh, I want to be part of this group. What are they doing, you know? And you bring in small elements, and you will see how people engage. So, and they have the same challenge. They collaborate better on next projects because they kind of in the same mission. So, and for the customers, you can, like one of the vivid examples, like Facebook does it very well. They have a team of a lot of engineers, psychology engineers, social engineers, and they build the application. You cannot get off. And as soon as trying to get off, they give you some value, like news, maybe something local news, rumors, and they're looking
for
rewards. You can buy some local stuff. You feel like you're gonna be missed out, FOMO, fear of missing out, and they play on that pretty well. 2.5 billion people log in into Facebook every day.
Yeah, they're. I guess they're doing pretty well. Like you could say, you could say that.
You can look at the stock.
Yeah,
it goes up.
Well, so okay, so what what like how do we gamify our lives? Like not just
Yeah, that's a good question.
we can easily fall into like some routine of a daily routine, and I think it's important to stay engaged in life. When I was over the break, I didn't have much to do. All of my partners are gone for the holiday or whatever, and it was just like me hanging out at my apartment for most of the time. I'd wake up at like 10:30 or really late, and terrible me, right? But I had very low engagement. I'd just wake up, kind of roll out of bed, and take a shower, and leisurely eat something. Maybe I'd go to the gym and walk on the treadmill while I watched Netflix on my phone or something, and very low engagement in life. What are some like tips and tricks of how we could gamify our life, set ourselves up for some success?
It's a very good question. You don't need you don't need to, let's say, get hit by gamification or be in the game or gamify by someone else. We all have challenges in life, and we're not looking forward to them. Mm-hmm. But if you reframe that and understand the principles of gamification, let's say you set objectives for in life, what you want to do. And I'll bring an example later.
So goal setting is a key
Goal
part.
setting's number one.
Uh-huh.
Then understand who you are and what motivates you.
The character.
The character.
The piece.
The
game
character.
Piece.
Yeah. Are you more like explorer? Are you a social person?
Uh-huh.
What motivates you?
Right.
What inspires you? And then you set the behavioral. What do you want to like? What is your target behavior?
Yeah.
What do you want to do? And if you do that, what you're gonna get back in like a reward?
Right.
So you have to understand, this is my objective, this is who I am, and I need to design something that inspires me to go. If I'm social, but I want to go to the gym, you just call your buddy and it's like, hey, can we have a team of 4 people? Talk about our, let's say, next project, or just, like, I don't know, just let's go together to the gym, like 4 of you.
Yeah.
And then
play a game of, shoot some hoops or something. Yeah.
Anything. When you engage socially with your best friends, you're gonna just show up to the gym, and this is half of the winning the game, right? Or whatever the winning your challenge. And if you're in the gym with your buddies and everybody pumping the metal or whatever on the treadmill, you're gonna like, okay, let's go on the treadmill. But so you engage yourself the way that you prefer. Some people like a different approach, and they just. I have a friend at work. He has a goal. He said, "I'm gonna run 1 mile a day, no matter what." And he has a calendar. He poked the hole every day if he runs the mile. And he has 4 kids, and his kids also start running with him. And so he basically runs a mile a day. They're not all the time with him, but he runs 1 mile every single day. So it's 365 miles a year.
Yeah. That's nuts. That's a lot of miles when you think about it that way. But, I mean,
it's 10 minutes.
A totally achievable goal.
Exactly.
Right? The target behavior is run the mile, and your reward is...
You feel better. Your blood is
health,
pumping.
Energy, yeah.
You get the reward that, hey, I got streak this week, no missing days. And that keeps you involving, okay, I want to do now month. And you design challenges that other people...
You can even build on top of that.
Yes.
Yeah. So you have a 1-week streak, and you get a special type of reward or something.
Yes.
You got a 1-month streak, you get to, you could take a weekend out of town with your wife or something.
Yeah. If you like bagels, but... I mean, if I run a mile a day, okay, I can have a bagel. Yeah. But let's say if the whole week I run, I will have a slice of cake. And it's like you have to build rewards into the your program or
Right.
your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're just gonna get burned out. If you
That's
don't see
amazing.
results, you're gonna get burned out. And even if you're trying to achieve something that it's abstract, for instance, in your life, you need to find out the way to measure your achievements, and then you will be able to actually, you have to praise yourself. Pat on the back. Even if there's nobody around you, pat on the back. Look back, have a list of achievements you did this year, this week, this day. It doesn't matter. You have to have a keep record. Then you can look back and like, hey, last year I hit 200 days. I ran 200 days. This is incredible. 200 miles.
Yeah.
So this is so we have objectives. We have we have objectives. Then we identify who we are. Then we build what target behavior we want from ourselves. Then we need to have those activity loops. What kind of activity loops? When I'm gonna get what motivates me, what do I have to do, and I get feedback as reward and repeat, and also have a progressive loop. So basically, improving, easy to get in, but improve each day and going more advanced later. It will help you to break into the kind of habit, what you're trying to achieve in life. Also, it has to be fun.
It's got to be fun.
It got to be fun.
Yeah. So it can be making your rewards fun, right? During that feedback loop.
The game has to be fun.
But you touched on something and you said, in order to keep that engagement, there has to be like some type of progression, right? Some type of improvement. So your game might start out with just a sole objective of running every day. But then eventually you're going to be like, yeah, well, I've ran 60 days in a row, every day for 1 mile. It's not that great. What else can I track? It's not hard anymore. I'm no longer being challenged by going out and running 1 mile every day.
Now you very well prepared for the next level.
Next
level up.
Yeah. So creating something that you talked about in your talk was the boss fight.
Yes.
Right? And how
it has nothing to do with fighting with your boss.
Right. in life we want to avoid fighting with our boss, but in the games
we're looking forward.
Yeah.
Yes. So basically, when you play in a game, it's a huge challenge that you're looking forward to it, because now I can level up. I get more points. In life, we're avoiding the boss fight.
Yeah.
So it's very important to even you reframe differently, and you can achieve so much more if you just looking at this a different way. Hey, if I'm going, let's say, in doing public speaking, which is the scariest thing for many people.
Yeah.
I have one talk or one speech delivered once. Okay, 2, 3, and let's say if you did 12 a year, hey, I feel more comfortable. I can level up. I can speak to more people instead of 2 people at my home, or maybe 3, and then 5, 10, 500, thousands, and you're like, hey, this is my challenge in life, and you can always come up with a challenge. So with the running,
so maybe that boss fight is, I'm going to give a talk at a conference.
Exactly.
Or for running, I'm
marathon.
A marathon. I wasn't even thinking of that. I was going to say 5K, but
that's the marathon.
But there you go. I'm going
to ready for the marathon. So there's a mud run. There's a Spartan run.
Spartan races, sure.
So there's a lot of things, and like, hey, now I'm ready to participate in the serious game.
Yeah. Man, I love gamification. That just is so cool, because you can literally make whatever goal you want to achieve into a game by breaking it down into some simple elements.
Exactly.
And that is amazing. So I know you're short on time, so thank you for coming here. we're just about out of time. So I think this is a good stopping place.
So I think it's a great just start for the topic.
Yeah.
I would ask your followers to go and actually ask more questions, and maybe we have a more deep dive next time.
Yeah.
Based on their questions.
Oh yeah, let's
Hey,
do that.
Send me your challenge, and we will try to reverse engineer and actually build a little game for you.
Okay. So what should we tell our audience right now to do, so that we
Send
can,
me
we
a
can
challenge in life if you're willing to share, and then let us to gamify it for you, so you have at least looking forward to actually complete your challenge.
There you go. Okay, so send us, email us. Here's our email address right here at the bottom of the screen. Email us your life's challenges, the goal that you want to achieve, and let's see if we can gamify you. We're going to pick one of the emails that we get, and we'll create a gamification structure using those elements.
Exactly.
And in our next podcast, we'll share that with everybody. Maxim Maximov,
thank you.
Always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, so thank you for tuning in to Mastering Entrepreneurship. And I'm your host, Ravi Parashar. Again, my guest here was Maxim Maximov today. We talked about gamification. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. Also follow the TikTok page. I know a lot of you guys aren't following my TikTok page, which is absolutely ridiculous. It's so much fun. Thank you so much. We'll see you on the flip side.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching and being part of the podcast. Don't forget to share this with all your friends and family. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Don't forget TikTok. If you want to get in touch with us, go ahead and email us at info@miepodcast.com. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.